Hi lovely people, welcome to For Those Who Code. In this video we'll be learning about React hooks and context API, where we'll be building a simple CRUD application. Let's take a look at what we'll be building. So we have a simple CRUD application which is already coded. Here we will be having a list of articles, create article, seeing the detail of article, edit article and delete article. So first of all, we don't have any article in our state, so let's go ahead and create new article. Article heading, and then some subheading goes here, and then some description, and then article category would be React, and then author would be John Doe. Okay, let's save it, and then we can see that we have a article in our list, and then we can go ahead and edit the article as well, and then save again, and here edit it. So we can also delete the article, and then it's deleted. So we'll be building this particular application, so let's get started with the code. So guys, I've already created my static template using Bootstrap. So let's take a look at the code. Right now inside my packages I have installed Bootstrap, ESLint and some React router, and then taking a look at the main app file, I've created a component list, create, edit and delete. So and I have imported React router from React router DOM, and then we have different routes for our CRUD application. So first of all, let's go ahead and create article. Let's close this one, and then let's collapse this one. Yeah, so before we do some coding, first of all let's import use state from our use state hook. Use state, and beforehand we will also import use context as well. So we will write a heading, and then set heading, which will be this particular heading right here, and I mean the heading which user inputs from the info field, and then use state. Alright, now let's copy this one, and we'll create another for subheading, and then set subheading, and then another one for description, and then set description, and category for author, and then yeah, that should be it. Category and set category, and then create author, and then set author. Now let's go ahead and add some onChange event inside our input handler, or let's say input field, and then write some onChange where we will take event as a parameter, and then with a fat arrow, and set heading, and pass on event dot target dot value. So set heading. All right. Now and also add a value which should be heading as well. So let's copy this one and let's add inside our text area as well, another for the category, another for author, and obviously this would be on submit function, and then write some subheading. And value is set subheading, and let's make this camel caching, and category, and set category. So last one would be author, and then set author. Now let's go ahead and create on submit handler into our button right here. So it should be right here on submit. Where we'll be triggering a function, sorry, and I don't know why this description is not working. Description article category. I think to create an article we have description here, but we don't have a subheading. All right, we'll add subheading here, and then copy this one and add maybe down here, add description. All right, description and shit description. All right, now if we take a look, then failed to compile on submit is not defined. Okay, we have not created on submit click handler, so const on submit and take event as parameter and use a fat arrow where will be prevent multiple clicks, and then new article would be object, so where the ID would be article dot length +1, so it should be unique. So heading, subheading, and then description and category, and lastly author. All right, so we haven't created any function to handle our object of new article. So before that, let's go ahead and create global state. For global state, we will import React from React, and then we'll also import reducer beforehand. Right now reducer is empty file we created during the static templating part. Reducer from reducer, and then we will create our empty state, initial state, which should be first of all empty, article, and we will export our global context, and from I think we need to import create a context from create context as well as create context, and then pass down initial state, this one, and now add export, where we will be writing something for the global provider, and pass down children, and also add the dispatch from which we shall export from the user reducer, and initial state. Okay, now we shall also return global context dot provider, where the value will be the article, we will be accessing the state value, and then create article as well. So global context global context provider has no. I think I made some mistake over here. Yeah, so the mistake is I have to add something like children, and then close down the obviously the global provider as well. I think this is okay for now. Yeah, so let's go ahead and now add a create function where we will be dispatching an event or dispatching an action from our reducer. So function create article, which takes article as a parameter, and then dispatch an action. The type of action we shall make in our reducer file is maybe create article, and then obviously the payloaded text is the article itself. Okay, this article which we passed it right here. So I think this should be something like this one. Yeah, so I think global state is quite okay. So let's go ahead and write some reducer. Default, which takes state and action, and then we can make some switch statements, like which takes action dot type as a parameter, and then we can write something like a new case, which is create article we just made here, right here, dispatch an action from the reducer. So we will copy this one and place it here. So inside our case, we will return the new area of our state using the spread operator, and then article spread it, and then state dot article, and then another one would be that assets action dot payload. Alright, now I think we are good to go. So maybe we will return expression directed dot ts keys, this is yes, and return, we'll add a default which returns state itself. So I think there is a problem right here. Expected, oh yeah, there should be colon, it's not a comma. Default state dot action, and then dispatch an action, create article, case would be create article, which is the action, and then it returns article with state dot article and action dot payload, passed as parameter to the article itself. Okay, now the code looks okay. Now let's move ahead and import our create article here. Create article, and then article from use context, context. All right, now right here on submit, we will use this particular function which we created inside our global state, and pass down this article object which we made earlier, and then ultimately now let's first add console here to log out our article new first. So I think everything is fine, and then we'll add some fields. Save this article. create create so create an article. I think to create an article we need context. Yeah, I think I forgot to import global context in our main app.js file. So let's import uh, global provider. Oh, I'm opening two app.js. Okay, global provider from context global state, and then wrap our global provider so yeah let's after adding global provider the code works fine. So let's go ahead and save the article, and we can see that we have our object inside our article new. So yeah, it looks like we have created our create. So history.push here. All right. Create, and then yeah yeah. So now let's go ahead and create the list of articles. Rather than having the static content over here, we'll have the fields that we entered in while doing the create new article. So inside our list article, we will first import a use context from use context from React, and also import global context as well beforehand, because we'll be using this as well. Sorry. Context, and then global context. Okay. So we will also access our state from our use context from our global context as well, and then global context use context global state. Oh, this should be global state. An article I sent. Okay. Now let's move on to printing out our values that we have during the create CRUD functionality. We created some article, so we will access that object right here into our template object. So article dot map, and then article fat arrow, and then I think and then we can write something like this one right here for now, and then change this to heading itself. And for now, let's comment this part out, corresponding JSX tag. Alright, So create new article, save article, then we have this right here. Okay, this is working fine, but we don't have a unique key added. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this particular div inside of our higher order map function, and then we will write something like article dot heading, and then this would be article dot subheading, and this would be article dot description, this would be article dot author. I think that's it. So all that we are doing currently is accessing the objects, so working fine. So now let's go and add our unique key. So around here we can add key is equal to, which should be rather unique. So article dot I yeah. Now create save article. Okay, now we are looking at we have appended this stuff here. Now let's go ahead and remove this particular div when we have something over here, when we have some list going on. So rather than placing a heading, article inventory, and then create a map, and now text. Okay, if article dot length is greater than is equal to 1, let's say, and we would do something like we'd add something, and then we'll add something. So we'll add that link here, and add an empty paragraph. For now, add empty like this. Yeah, looks good. Okay, looks good. Alright, we can see a button here, and we will remove this one if we have some article in the list as well. So in the list we can write something like article dot length. If the article length is greater than 0, we can have some condition like place this stuff right here, and then no list right here. Okay, I think we're fine now. So yeah, we have made some changes to our list article so that this div comes up and appears in, and then goes away if we have some list in our article inventory. So some stylings left. So now let's move ahead and add some delete functionality in our CRUD application. So inside our list article, we will create some functionality for deleting the article from the list. So we will import delete article from our global context, but we haven't created any delete article inside our global state. We just have created create. So let's first create a reducer to handle our switch action for delete. A switch, I think I should write keys, and then we have delete article, and where we will return an object with the spread operator state, and then article would be state dot article, and we will filter down our state and return the article we received during the payload, but we haven't created any payload in our global state though. But article.id is equal to action.payload. Yeah, I think it looks okay for now. And here we will write return a state and article state. Okay. Here we will create another function. Where we will have delete article and take id as a parameter, and dispatch an event during on click. And then type of dispatch actions should be delete article, and payload we will receive is id. Okay, looks fine. Yeah. Reduce your passing on expected keys. Keys delete article, and then we have I think this should be inside here. Yeah. So I think everything is fine. Now let's go to our list article, and now we have already imported delete article we created inside our global state, and now we will go ahead and write some delete. I think the delete button is, there are two buttons, and we'll write our delete to the second one. Okay, the second one is our, first of all let's write outside of the div. We'll create a div and also a button to handle the click event, where we'll be dispatching our action for delete, and then add a class name of background, and then on click we will configure a function where we will call this function and pass down the ID of the article as a parameter. So inside here we will place our rounded icon button. Yeah, I think this article is defined but never used. Delete article, delete on click, delete article, article ID, delete article and article ID. Yeah, everything looks fine to me, but global state. Yeah, we need to export return delete article as well. Reducer.js not is equal to, okay, reducer.js not is equal to article.id not is equal to action.payload. Okay, now I think the functionality works well. Yeah, so there are a bit of styling fixes needed, but we have successfully created our delete as well. So let's move ahead and create some edit functionality of our CRUD application. Now let's move ahead and create edit functionality of our CRUD application. So to add a functionality of edit, we will write some function for edit article like we did for delete article, and then we will go down and then inside our rounded icons that we have, and okay, and right here we will add some button where we will handle the on-click event. First we'll add a link first, so to, and the path would be edit, and the route parameter it takes is article.id, and then the rounded icon goes inside here. So now as we have already created the edit and wrote some dynamic ID that we passed in, so we'll be passing that particular ID dynamically from here, so it's article.id. And now let's go ahead and create some on-click event inside our div itself. On-click, which is edit article, which takes article.id as a parameter, and then I think this is it. So now let's move on to our global state, where we'll be creating some function for our edit function, edit article, and text ID as a parameter. Sorry, it's article itself, and then we will dispatch an action where the type of dispatch we will be triggering is edit article, and then take payload of this particular article itself. Okay, great. Now let's move on to our reducer and then create a new case of edit article as well, and then we will first of all we'll create a constant where we can store the payload it is taking right now. Editing article, and the payload that it's taking would be action.payload, and then we create another constant where we will recognize and identify the editing article that we just clicked in. So we will filter that down from the state. I think we should better map it from the state. Article dot map, and then article dot map. For each article we will access the article ID if it's strictly is equal to the editing article that we have it from action.payload. Then we should return editing article, and by default it should, I think I made a bit of a mistake over here. If this should be more okay, article article.id then return article here. So I think this is fine. Unexpected global state. So I think inside our edit article we should rather access the current object that we are looking at. So in order to access that, we need to import use context and use state as well. And obviously the global context, but before that we will create a constant where we can access the article and edit article. Use context from global context. Okay, now let's create another constant where we will have two state. One is selected article, another one is set selected article, and use state. Okay, now the ID would be initially null, and the category would be nothing at first, empty object, heading, description, and then subheading is also empty, okay. All right, now let's create another constant for knowing the current ID of the article. ID, which should be, we can write access it from route.match.params.id. So current article would be route. So before that, let's import React router. And import use history and link from React router DOM. Now route.match. Okay, now we will use effect hook to write our selected article. Inside our user effect, we will find the selected article, and then set selected article to our global state. So here we can write something like article ID is the current article right here, and then selected article would be article dot find, and we will find that particular article ID from our state, and then as it's not an integer, we need to have a parse integer and then article ID here. Okay, now let's go ahead and use our set selected article and pass down selected article here as parameter, and then we need to have this empty array over here as well. We'll create our handle on change function where we will have two parameters, article key and then value, and then set selected article and spread selected article with the article key. Yeah. Alright, so now our handle on change, we will have our on change handler inside our input fields. So on change, where handle on change, and then heading and event dot target dot value. Okay, and the value is selected selected article. Okay, so article dot heading. Okay, now we can add on change handler to our each of the input boxes. So handle description that we made over here, description, article, category, and then article author, category, description, heading, category, heading, description, subheading. I think we missed out subheading somewhere, so we will add subheading as well. And subheading. Okay, now it looks fine, but we need to add a value to our input fields as well. This is description, and this is and the last one is author. Alright, okay, fail to compile, use context is not defined. Use context is not defined. Okay, Before that, let's write some on submit function where we will do on submit event and constant on submit. It takes event as a parameter, and then prevent our double clicks and edit the article, and then pass down selected article over here, and then use history dot push to our home route. Now before that we use history, we need to make some changes in our right here, because we haven't accessed the history object from use history. Okay, looks okay to me. Select the article, and then current ID is route match, perhaps the ID, and then let's see, edit article.js. Yeah, looks like everything is working now. I've added a small ESLint issue in line number 22, and it's working fine right now. So if we go to our application and then write heading, and we can see that we can edit the heading as well, and we can write subheadings, category, also name, and everything is working. We can delete, we can create, we can everything is working. So lastly, let's go ahead and write some functionality for our detail, looking at the detail part. Detail article. First, let's import use context from our React library, and also use effect in advance because we'll be using these stuff, and use state as well because we need to access the state as well. So also we need to import a link from React router DOM, and also the global context. From context global state. So now let's create a constant where we'll have two state. One is to set data, and one is the old state, and then also create a constant for our article, and which we will access it from our global context. So now we need to make a constant also for the current ID that we are visiting in. So the detail that user selects should be identified at first. So the current article ID would be route.match.params.id, and then use a use effect hook to find and set our data to the fields below. So we'll write something like article ID is current article. Okay, current article ID is current article. Okay, fine. Let's rename this to ID because it's an ID, current ID. So another constant for selected article, and we will filter, or let's say we'll find, because we need an array, we will find our article inside our article state. And then set data to pass down the selected article, and also we need an empty array here. So now everything looks fine, and let's access our values inside our right here inside our template. So we can write something like data.category, and then I think it's heading, and we have category over here, and then sub heading over here as well, and then description, and I think we don't have a date. Let's skip it. Filter route is not defined, data is not defined. Okay, yeah, everything is working fine. There seems to be no errors now, so we can go to read article and write something like a node API with express, and then some heading, and then some description and categories and author. Save article, we can delete, we can edit, and save article, and then we can go to delete in detail, and then go back, and then we can also delete. We have completely made our CRUD functionality now, and we can make an edit to our article. We can create another new article, and then we can delete the article itself. So yeah, so now I hope you have learned something new from the video. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want some more videos like this. And the GitHub for the code is down below.
I hope to see you in the next video.